Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm out at one of my favorite mountain roads, and we have the 2022 BMW 230i. We have around 10 miles of some twisty roads to really test the performance of this sporty coupe. Let's go ahead and get this out on the road. All right, so as we get the BMW 230i out on the road, this is the smaller of the two series available. We have the 230 and the M240i. So with the 230i here, this has a 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes 255 horsepower and around 295 pound-feet of torque. If you go with the M240i, that has a 3-liter inline 6, makes 386, I believe, 382 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. So well over the 230i here. However, with this specific 230i that we're in, we have a lot of the handling characteristics that you're looking for, especially with the M240i. So this particular model has the handling package, we have the dynamic package, so we have the M brakes, we have the M Sport steering, as well as the suspension. And honestly, on roads like this car is a little underwhelming in the straight line performance. This is rear wheel drive as well. The M240 is all wheel drive. But wow, if you're not looking for like that crazy amount of performance, this is a great option because it's around 10 grand less base MSRP than the 240i, and I don't want to compare this too much to that car. It would be awesome to be able to get the M240 out on these roads though, but we have the 230 for today. And you know, 10 grand is a big difference, so if you're not looking to spend that much more, the options with all of the handling and the dynamic package for this model is really only like 4 or 5 grand. So I mean, you're kind of creeping up to a base model of the 240. Honestly, I'm blown away with the handling characteristics of this car. So I have it in Sport Plus at the moment, and I drove it here in Eco mode, so you could really tell that there's a big difference. Eco mode doesn't have any throttle response, and I used Eco mode to save MPG on the highway while I was driving here, and I averaged around 32, 33. That's combined with the other city driving I've been doing as well. Woo. This is a lot of fun to drive. I really did not expect it to be this fun. Now, this isn't a heavy vehicle, and since we don't have a lot of horsepower and torque, it's very, very adequate, and especially for roads like this, there's only so much usable power that you can get when you're out on the roads. Now, obviously with the M240, you would have a lot more power getting out of the straights, you know, getting out of the corners, getting onto the straights and things like that. But when you're going pretty much the same speed in any vehicle on this road, this is very impressive. How tight the steering is. Now, I will go back into comfort mode here just to test the steering. Wow. Now, I didn't notice it was, or didn't think it was going to be that big of a difference. You know, out on normal roads, you can't really tell, but the steering is so much looser. I got to go back into sport here. Wow. Very, very, very direct. Little bit of a narrow road, but oh my goodness. Now, we're full throttle right now, and I mean, it gets up and scoots. What I love about the 230i, this is pretty much the entry level. If you're looking for a sporty two-door coupe from BMW, you go with the 230i. This is that entry level that still has some performance. And as you can tell from today's video, if you get the right packages put on this car, you can have some fun with this. Now, my brother drove a 230i a couple weeks ago, and it had none of this. It didn't have the digital gauge cluster. It was the old school without that tech. I love having this digital gauge cluster because not only do I have the map set up right in the gauge cluster itself, but I also have it on that center screen there. So that way I have two different views depending on where I'm looking at this road right now. So that way I know what turns are coming up. But the 230i that he drove didn't have any of the M Sport suspension, the braking, and he didn't really like it. I wish he was here with me today so he could test this out. It would change his perspective, I think, because I don't have any complaints with this. Now, I didn't get to drive that 230 he was in, but without the performance package, or, you know, everything here, the handling and all that, I really don't think, like he thought, it would be much fun to drive. There's no manual option available for this or the M240. I believe you can get one on the M2. I'm not sure on that one yet, but I hope they keep it alive with the M2. The paddles in this are very responsive for this 8-speed. A manual would be fun, but these are very responsive. So it's a quick transmission. And again, these brakes, I love that we have these brakes, especially for this road. You really don't feel much body roll with this. Like I said, it's a light vehicle. Oh, sharp turn, wow. It's also not a loud vehicle, even in sport mode here. Obviously, you could change that if you wanted to, but again, being the entry level, this really isn't designed for this. However, we're doing it. Whew. And the fact that this is a pretty practical sports car as well, it gives you the option to have this as your daily driver. And let's say you don't do roads like this often. This is the third time I've been on this road in a month, I believe. So I like to come out here a lot. But if you don't do this often and you want to spring for a little bit of those performance characteristics, even just normal driving, I would definitely go with them, because it gives you that sports car handling and characteristics you're looking for, especially for a vehicle that looks like this. This is a two-door sporty coupe. You want it to handle these roads well. Even being rear-wheel drive, there's no understeer or oversteer. I'm not, going crazy hard into these turns, but I haven't really had the back end go out. We have traction control, everything like that is turned on. Wow. This is a ball to drive. I couldn't imagine getting the M240 out here. Hopefully we can get one of those cars at some point. Oh yeah. Oop, squirrel. This is exhilarating. This is definitely a lot of fun to drive. I don't have any complaints with it, aside from it is underpowered for my liking. I mean, it's not underpowered for doing these roads. We have an adequate amount of power, but it would be nice to just have a little bit of bump, and obviously you could probably tune it and do that if you'd like to, or go with the 240. But this is such a blast to drive. Oh man. We have a few more turns to go here. This is one of my most fun sections of this road. It's so smooth. It's all downhill from here though. I'm gonna do a full POV driving all the way back. So make sure you guys check out that video. But yeah, getting this 2022 BMW 230i out on some mountain roads to really test its performance, I am blown away. With the right packages like this particular model has, you don't need to go crazy in price to get the handling characteristics or the adequate amount of power that this has to have a fun, sporty, entry-level BMW. This is a very, very good option. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video coming along with me on this mountain cruise. If you did, give the video a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I'll see you guys in the next video.